Pardon me?
Why isn't it perceived that way? Why don't people
I don't
understand
know,
that if they can't unwind it, it's not a success?
No, because they will understand that when ultimately stock prices break lower, but when you pursue these policies, the prices tend to go up, and people view that as a success. And if the economy is growing, even if it's not growing as much as it ought to, given the amount of stimulus, and the market's moving higher, stock market's moving higher, people conclude, hey, this works. It's only when that doesn't work, and then they start looking at some of the problems, and they say, wait a sec, the market's not going up, the economy's not doing that well, and gosh, I'm paying more for everything. You see, as long as it's deemed to be successful with the market and the economy, people don't really think it through very much. And you got to remember, while 10 years is a long time in our lives, from a historical standpoint, it's not that long. You know, crazy policies have lasted longer historically. You and I could have discussed, you know, in the early 20s, the insanity of where Russia was going with the Soviet Union, you know, and the socialist strategy. And look, it took 70 years for it to implode. So, you know, the fact that the central banks have been on this crazy experiment for a decade to bail out their other two bubbles that they blew seems like that's forever, and it is, but it's not that long in a big sweep of time. And until people start getting until it becomes the case that there are no obvious rewards to this, and we still have problems, then psychology may start to change. But you know, and we have a whole we have 1, 2, maybe 2.5 generations of investors that have never seen anything except activist central banks.
Right, yep.
First Greenspan, then Bernanke, then Yellen, and now Powell, and then these crazies, you know, at the other central banks. So there are some people that probably don't even know what inflation really is or how it comes about. And I think a lot of people are very naive when it comes to financial history, and they can't, and it looks like nothing matters, and so they think, well, nothing will ever matter. But that happens in markets all the time. People conclude that a temporary thing is a permanent thing, and then they wind up losing lots of money. And that's where we're headed. But you know, you can't predetermine when psychology is going to change, because it's, you know, when the wildebeests are running down the plains in Africa, what makes them swerve left and right? I mean, who knows? It's a crowd, right? That's what we have now. It's just a crowd of humans.